and we will do this here. We are all set to go, guys. See if we can get that to go down now. Okay, we are ready to roll. We are looking into going on to Zoom eventually. We're also going to keep doing this here, but we're also going to do Zoom. I'm not exactly sure when, but we're going to do it. Get this thing up and rolling. There we go. I'll wait for a couple people to get on here. Who got on here now? We got somebody just showed up. I was off last week. I got the booster shot, and I wasn't feeling too good after that booster shot, let me tell you. So that was my situation. I was really, really sick. I had muscle pain, everything else. So who you got on here? We got 5 people on here. I'm waiting till we get a couple more on here. But let's start shooting some questions on here now if we can. We got Delta Dave on here. There we go. Who else we got on here? Up to 10 people already. This is moving fast. This is good. We'll get some good people on here. Smoky Mountain Modelers on here. All right. We got the same old crew. Good. Good. We're back to normal. Brian Adamson. Brian from the UK. Just been catching up with the damage caused by Typhoon. Yeah, there's a lot of damage. Somebody just sent me some pictures and stuff. And a friend of mine from down Cebu, he had to move his car in the basement of a high-rise because the air duct was shaking so bad above his car, he was worried about it crashing on his car, and that was in the basement. So the air pressure must have been causing that thing to shake really bad, but it was really bad. We got Peter King, hi from Pittsburgh. Let's see who else we got on here. Photo from Chile, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Jim in Florida, let's see. So between the new variant, the Typhoon, will the Philippines ever go up for travel? I'm about to give up. Yeah, that won't affect travel. That won't affect travel. It will affect travel to that spot. That's about it. And which we should be fine. I don't think we'll have any problems. That's not going to be bad. Let's see, Robert Schindal. Welcome aboard. Nothing much, Robert. Let's see, JP says hello, everyone. Guys, can you give me 1 second for a second? I'll be right back. Just give me 1 second. I got some allergies going on here, and it's kind of bothering me a little bit tonight. I've been suffering from allergies all week. But anyway, let's see. Who else we got on here? JP is on here. Peter King. Let's see. How did we do in the storm? Actually, the storm here, we only had like 20-mile-an-hour winds. Basically nothing. I actually had a guy write to me. Listen to this. You guys, you want to hear a great story, an interesting story. A guy from Australia actually wrote to me today, and he was asking me if I knew anybody who would go to this little tiny island. It was I think it was Bontoon Island or something like that. It's only like maybe a half a mile wide or something like that, and it's just almost like a sandbar down there. I guess his girlfriend lives down there, and he wants somebody to go down there and rescue her family down there. It's like real small. He circled it on a map and showed me how to get there. He wanted me to try to find if I could get somebody to go down there, but I talked to people, and everybody said the roads are all blocked off from debris and things like that, so you're not going to be able to even get a boat down there. And the seas are still rough, too. So, but he wants somebody to go out to this island down there, and I was like, he was willing to pay for the whole thing, which I found kind of fascinating, actually, that somebody was. Let's see. Let's see who else we got on here. Robert Schindal says, travel will open 2022 first quarter. I think we'll be way before then, Robert. I think that's really pushing it. I actually think that this new variant thing is just going to fall apart eventually. Frank says, hi, Steve, from Frank in the UK. Glad to see you okay. Yeah, we're all fine here. We didn't have, it was a big nothing burger for as far as here. South of us had all the bad stuff. We had a little bit of wind, barely even any rain. Some clouds went by, and that was it. Let's see, Axe says, want to thank you for all of your effort. Great channel. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Robert Schindal says, at least we don't have to wear face shields. That's a good thing. Yeah, we don't have to wear the face shields anymore. Justin, Arkansas. Hello, Steve. Batch 7 EED was finally approved. The bat. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Batch seven. Batch seven. I thought that was approved a while ago. I thought we were way past that. I thought we were way past that, but maybe not. That's good news, though. See, Florida. Jim in Florida says Bohol was pretty much devastated. Yes, yes, in a very bad way. I've seen some pictures from down there, man. It's really sad. Quite a few deaths too. They don't even know how many deaths on some of those smaller islands. So, not all the news is in yet. Is how bad the storm really was, unfortunately. And Dickie Spass says, "Good day, Steve. I just got my U.S. passport and passport card renewal. Took 5 weeks start to finish. That's not that bad, Dickie. It was longer before, so they must be hiring more people and putting them in there to do the passports because passports are important. Let's face it, we need to get our passports." And then Robert Schindel says the pandemic was a big plan. Yeah, this. I mean, I shake my head sometimes at some of this stuff because let's see. Robert says 12 confirmed dead so far. Yeah, I think that number's going to go up way up though after seeing some of the pictures, and I think some of those islands might have got wiped clean too. Unfortunately, but to get back with the pandemic thing there, I went in to get my booster shot the other day, and I didn't really want to get it, but I thought we had to get it to travel because I thought if you didn't get it, there was no sense in you getting the other shot because you're supposed to get it within 6 months. They always said within 6 months you have to get the booster. Well, the VA sent me a thing after I got the shot saying it's not mandated that you have to get the shot. Once you get vaccinated, that's it. That's all they're going to ask for as far as you're on your vaccine card. You don't have to have the booster to travel. So I was like, well, that was a waste of time and 2 to 3 days of being sick because I was really, really sick from it. I was actually kind of surprised. Muscle pain, everything. It was like having like a super bad flu. And it was no fun. I had more problems this time than I did with the first one. Although the first one I had side effects too. So, but I have because of my immune system. I have problems already, and that just made it worse. But Jason Molzen says, "Hi Steve, thanks for your help a while ago with my SRV paperwork. My EED is processing through DFA, and is almost ready. Excited to travel soon." You're welcome, Jason. Anytime, man. For anybody out there that needs help with the SRV. A lot of people don't know this, but people that come over here with the SRV are getting in here on the EEDs. Okay, so for you guys that don't know, the EED allows you to come in here despite the epidemic. It allows you to get the 9A visa. So that's a good thing. So you can still get in here, but you get in here on the SRV you're coming in on the 9A to get the SRV application filled and everything passed into the PRA, and then you get your retirement visa, and then you're done. Then you can stay permanently. So it's kind of a nice setup. And they help you get the EED, the Philippine Retirement Authority. It costs a little bit of money, but it's worth it. Let's see, Dickie Spass says, the fear and control in regards to Omicron is of epic proportions stateside. Yeah, because nobody's getting really that sick from it, and that's something that really kind of bothers me a little bit because I don't see why these countries can't open now. We should all be open. That's my thoughts on this whole bunch of junk. Jim in Florida says it's not mandated yet. Give the government time to make a few rules. Yeah, that's the problem, I mean, a lot of the issues have to do with, with the government throwing out these new rules all the time, and it just gets worse and worse and worse, and it's ridiculous. Anyway, let's see. We got Dickie Spaz. Dickie Spaz says, boosters, follow the money. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. But I will never get a booster again unless they mandate it or something like that and say that we have to get more boosters. But, because I want to travel. Obviously, all of us want to travel. And I don't want to sit outside a restaurant while everybody else eats inside. And I think that's treating people like dogs. Like I'll have my dog wait outside while I go into the restaurant and eat. Like if you don't have your vaccine card up at the Conrad building and also in New York City and a lot of other places, you can't go in there and eat. They'll tell you to go eat outside. That's what they tell you. They tell you have to eat outside, sir. You can't eat inside. It's like, Gee, thanks. So they can sit inside and I have to eat outside like a dog? And that's the way you get treated. So, Robert Schindal says this whole thing was designed to depopulate the planet. Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, there's something kind of fishy about it, let's face it. But let's get some questions up here, guys. Brooke Snyder, Lago, Florida in the house. We got Brooke Snyder in the house. That's good. How you doing, Brooke? Everything going good? Brooke's going to be moving here pretty soon. He's actually moving to Tracy Martirez right in my town. So we got a bunch of people here. Also, we got Kenny. Kenny just came here. He's sitting in quarantine right now. He's here through the SRRV too. So, and we're gonna have Nathan coming here. Nathan's gonna be coming here probably. My guess probably within 3 months. If the stuff lifts, he'll come in on a tourist visa. Photo says, well, you got to think why 70-something senators changed their investments to the vaccine companies. Yeah, there we go. Brooke Snyder, all good and can't wait to fly. So, Brooke, do you think you're still coming in here somehow? Do you think you'll be able to get in here before? How are you coming in here now? You're waiting for the tourist visa? I think that's what you said, right? Chris G says, thumbs up. Okay. Jim in Florida, that's the problem. Refuse to do what they tell you, and you get banished from the outside to the outsiders. No travel and eating on the sidewalk. Yeah, that's what they'll tell you too when you eat outside. Jesse M says, hey friend, put camera at eye level. Get rid of the walrus mustache. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Let's see. Robert Waloka. Hi, sir. I'm Robert. I'm new here. Hi, Robert. How you doing? We got a lot of Roberts on here, actually. Brian Adamson has been watching the renovations on Darren's house. Looking pretty awesome. You know, he's been really putting a lot of effort. He put a lot of effort into planning that house the way he. And it was a couple of people that left some really nasty comments on there. I was really kind of surprised at the comments that people left. You know, it was kind of really rude what they left. I was kind of disappointed in some of the subscribers that left those, you know. But the guy that does leave the comments like that usually has left comments like that before. It just kind of shocked me because he was talking about the plans of the house, and I actually like the plans of the house. It's actually pretty decent because if you saw the house setup, there wasn't much else you could do with it. And I thought it actually turned out pretty nice, actually. So, Brooke, you have to wait for the tourist visa thing to open up. Then that might be a while, but we'll see. Francisco Fletes, hello. How you doing, Francisco? Good to see you on here, man. Robert says, when you think the Philippines will be open? I think within the next 3 months, man. That's my thoughts. I think right after Christmas. They're not going to make any decision before Christmas. You know, so that ain't going to happen. I don't even think before the end of this month because of the holidays. Too many holidays. Nobody's going to get together and make decisions. Everybody's on vacation and stuff. And you know, I would suspect that probably around the 10th to the 14th we'll get some sort of decision. Willie White says, good day. How you doing, Willie? Let's see. David Thompson says, Merry Christmas from New Hampshire. Merry Christmas, Dave. Let's see, what part of New Hampshire are you in? I used to live in Berlin. David, let's see. Michael L. says, good evening, Steve. How you doing, Michael? Let's see, we're up to 53 people, 14 thumbs up. Brian Adams says, I'm impressed. He has done a great job. Yeah, he has. He really did a good job on it. I was kind of impressed, too. Wait till you see when it's all done. It's going to look really, really nice. I mean, they were getting everything cleaned up when I was there, and it was looking better and better every minute. So pretty soon it's going to look good. Let's see. David Thompson says, love your videos and your informative content. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. We got some great videos coming up over the next few days that I did. I put up 2 today that were pretty good. I think you guys will enjoy them. But I'm going to have some more videos of going out and walking around, things like that, probably this week coming up. I'm going to walk around Tracy Martirez just to show you some of the sights and scenes around Tracy Martirez. I might do like maybe a half hour to an hour long video, actually, so you can get to see Tracy. And what I'll do is I'll walk all around, show you the different monuments and things in town. It's kind of cool. And I'll walk you into the capital area, which I've taken you there before a long time ago, but I'm going to go through there now. So we got some things coming up. Maybe this week I can get that done, hopefully. We'll see. Let's see. Michael L. says, the opening of the Philippines is always 3 months away. You know, with this new Omicron thing there, it's really hard to pin this down. I think we're closer than 3 months, but I think we're probably in January. That's my thoughts. I think they got to open soon. They gotta do something soon. JGBK says the government needs to turn their attention to all the damage that has occurred. And it's not just from that new typhoon that went through here either. So that's nothing compared to what this has caused. Jesse M says Thailand is open. I just wait here till you guys open. There we go. That's an idea. Robert Schindel says as soon as DU30 leaves, things will be much better. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Smoky Mountain Model, I would think the country will open up way before the elections. I'm hoping, man. I think it will too. Anders says, Merry Christmas from snowy Malmo, Sweden. Good to see you on here, Anders. That's where my family's from, man. Malmo. That's where they're all from. I think it was Jonasson or Johansson was the name over there, and they changed it to Johnson when they went to the U.S. But I have many relatives that were buried over there. And I still, my niece is over there. She lives over there. See, Robert Loca says, I stayed 2 years in Cebu. Then my grandma died. I go home for a while. Now I'm in Germany already. 2 years waiting to be back. That's rough, man. That's hard. I heard of a lot of people leaving that couldn't get back in. And that kind of really, when you hear those stories, it's horrible because they can't be with their loved ones, their girlfriends, their kids, or anything. So it's kind of terrible. Brian Adamson says, yes, I'm looking forward to the finished article. It'll look nice. Mrs. Chubby Channel. Hi, Steve. Advance Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. I hope soon we can see you personally. Yeah, if you ever want to meet me, just let me know. If I'm free, I'll meet up with anybody, So JP says, new variant automatic add 3 months. Not always. I disagree with that. I think that's at some point. I think even the WHO is saying that we shouldn't have these country lockdowns anymore. That's what somebody told me just recently. I don't know. I haven't verified that, but that's what I heard today. Maximus says, hello, Steve. Good morning. I think WHO, though, was kind of guilty, too. So that's my thoughts on that. Roger Miller says, good evening, Steve. No live chat last week. No. I had gotten the vaccine booster last week, Roger, and I got really, really sick from it. I had 3 days of intense pain in my joints and stuff, and that's what happened to me. So I didn't want to get the booster, but I got it because I was afraid. And then the next day they sent me a thing saying that it's not mandated to get the booster. You're considered fully vaccinated with just the original shots or shot if it's Johnson & Johnson. So I was really kind of surprised, when they sent me that, because I thought we had to get the booster no matter what. And I was wrong, so I wish I didn't get it. Jesse M says, where are you, bro? I'm in Tracy Martirez City. It's about 20 to 30 miles south of Manila. Okay, it's not too far away. Ricky Martin says, the Philippines is always 2 months away from being 2 months away from opening. I hope you're right, because I've been waiting for 2 years now to come back, and I am triple vaccinated. Yeah, same here, man. Maximus says, Steve, Luzon got lucky and Odette did not make landfall there. No, it didn't. We barely even got any wind. We got a little bit of a breeze from it and some clouds, dark clouds going over. But other than that, we didn't get anything. A little bit of rain, very little rain, in fact. In fact, the weather was actually kind of nice. So in between the clouds, it wasn't that bad. Maximus says, Steve, Luzon got... That's the one I just read. I'm sorry, guys. Roger Miller, sorry to hear problem with jab. What brand? Pfizer. It was Pfizer. Okay. Big Time 911. Do you think one day they will process the SRRV? It's not SSRV, it's SRRV. Visa in the United States out of the Philippine Embassy. Never. Nope. Will not happen, because the Philippine Retirement Authority is who does that. It won't be the embassy. It's the Philippine Retirement Authority that runs that retirement visa, because that's what they do. I don't ever see that coming out of the embassy. No. Nope. Francisco Fleta says, I know an infectious disease doctor at St. Luke's BGC. They already have the monoclonal antibody treatment here. Also, the pills from Merck and Pfizer are working. Vaccine 100% plus in Manila, ready to open. That's what I said. I said the same thing. Manila's pretty much all open. It's a lot of these smaller islands, I guess, they're worried about. But, you know, if you're coming in and you're already vaccinated, what does it matter at that point, you know? So, Zur says, hi, Steven. How you doing, Zur? Happy to hear that you're okay with this storm. I'm okay, yeah. A lot of other people are not, though. So, Michael L., as soon as I get a day off, I'm getting the third Moderna, covering for a work comrade who was out for a carpal tunnel surgery. You know, Michael, you will not feel good enough to go to work, though, after you get that, for like 2 or 3 days. And I'm just being honest with you. I mean, that's not with everybody, but it was with me. Let's see. Delaware Surf says, I enjoyed your Pagsan Han Falls videos. I took it years ago. Didn't realize you can actually hike there. That place is beautiful, man. Let me tell you something. If you guys get a chance, watch when I leave the falls to head back, because then you get the full feel of the whitewater effect on the camera. Because going in, you're going up against the water, and then coming back, you're riding super fast. And it's actually kind of beautiful. There's a lot of falls footage that we saw, and going in, you can't really balance because you're kind of going against everything. So it's hard shooting with the camera some of the falls that we were passing by, and to shoot everything because you were so tippy. But going out, we weren't tippy. It was actually kind of nice. So I was able to film way better going out than coming in. So if you haven't seen my Pagsan Han Falls footage, watch all 3 of them. But the last one is the one you want to watch the best. It's the best, you know. Let's see. Francisco says, I got really sick from the Pfizer booster too, Steve. I had my lymph nodes under my armpit swell up like a grapefruit on same side of the vaccine. I actually had both arms swell up, so, which was kind of strange. But also my joints all got swollen too. Was knocked out 3 days. Same here. So Jeffrey says, I'm looking to get my SRRV. Jeffrey, if you contact me at Steven5975, I can help you with that at yahoo.com. Steven is with a V. Steven5975 at yahoo.com. And just ask me for my phone number, and ask for Mary Rose's information in the email, and I'll send you all that information. You can contact me and we'll get you started. Okay? Let's see. Brooke Schneider says, how far away from Tracy are those falls? Brooke, if you want to go, I'm willing to go. I'll take you there. I'm willing to go there. We can all chip in on the car or whatever. Or we can do a van or something if you want to do something like that. It's about 3 hours away, you know, but there's a lot of traffic on the way there. Three and a half hours. Okay? Excuse me. But it's worth going. I didn't get to film the bridge that they had in Platoon. I was trying to get my camera up and working, but the boat was moving so fast I couldn't get it ready both times. And I wanted to take a picture of the bridge going across, you know. So, and I didn't get to do that. And that was from the movie Platoon. So I wanted to film that, but I didn't get to film it. Ricky Martin says, I didn't feel a thing after the 3rd vaccine of Pfizer, so it's different for everyone. Yeah, some people got lucky, you know. Dickie Spaz says, any thoughts on Lucid Diagnostics? They're a medical technology company. I don't go for medical stocks too much, if that's what you're talking about, Dickie. I'm really not that happy, you know. So, okay, we got Dwayne waving to me, and he just tried to call me, and he knows I'm live. Okay, thanks, Dwayne. Let's see, Axe, have you ever been to Baylor, Aurora? I heard that's where they filmed part of the movie too. You know, they did the surfing scene and some of the PT boat scene there too, but they also did the riverboat rather. They did the riverboat scene also at Pagsan Han River, where the bridge was. That's where they did the purple haze scene and stuff like that, I believe. Okay, Robert Wioka says, how come COVID cases in the Philippines are so low? We're at about 500. I don't know. Probably because they don't test everywhere. We don't have the testing here that the U.S. does. So that's part of it. So And that's kind of a good thing in a way for us. Smoky Mountain Model says, I just got my first Hep A and B vaccinations and prep for coming over. My doctor was very supportive. Smoky Mountain Model, I'm actually doing another video on that in the coming days because it's so important for us to get that vaccine, that Hep B shot. Hep A is important too, but that Hep B shot, 16.7% of the people here have hepatitis. And it gets transmitted sexually amongst other ways too. But I mean, you know, if you don't have that and your girlfriend has Hep or something like that, then you're kind of doomed after that. So I tell people, get your hepatitis B shots or at least get them updated. Let's see. Francisco says, I had to take 1 gram of Tylenol plus a tramadol. Yeah, I take that anyway, and it still didn't even put a dent in my pain. I was really hurting. 2 days I was in bed, man. I thought I was, you know, I thought it was permanent. That's how bad I felt. It was like, man, this is really painful. Ricky Martin says, even after returning from Mexico after 3 vaccines, I was randomly picked for a PCR COVID test after receiving one the day before I left Mexico. Let's see. That sounds like fun, Ricky. Let's see. John Malett says, message retracted. Michael L. says, naproxen works better than Tylenol and is not liver toxic. Yes, you're correct. Tylenol is very liver toxic. Ricky Martin says, that's in Canada. Dwayne says, LOL. Not funny, Dwayne. Michael L., I made money with Moderna. Yeah, some people, I don't know if I like profiting off of this, though. You know, Michael, I mean, in all honesty, that's why I didn't put any money in on that stuff. I just don't feel like profiting off of something that I don't believe in, you know, and that was part of my belief in that. But Brooks Snyder says, has Omicron arrived in the Philippines? I believe 2 people had it, but they were in quarantine from other countries. But I could be wrong on that. I know I heard about 2 people, though. And they said something about that they caught him on the way in or something like that. So I haven't verified that. That's what I heard from somebody else talking. Dickie Spaz says, naproxen is good, but jacks my blood pressure up. Let's see, John Malett says, my wife and I had the second Pfizer. It was hit hard, but my wife was unaffected because she kept drinking water. I might be part of it. I don't drink much water. I drink a lot of Coke. Michael L. says, hep is endemic to the Philippines. Yes, it is. Let's see. Randall Forrest says, hi, Steve. Thanks so much for getting me in touch with Mary Rose. I'm busy with appointments and paperwork now. Yeah, it's kind of a fun experience with all that paperwork you got to do when you get all that stuff, with that big list of things you got to start. If you need any help with that, Randall, you can always call me. If you need any help, you know, with the police report stuff or the apostle stuff, I can kind of answer. I can answer almost any questions or kind of assist you a little bit. If I can't answer you, I'll swing you back to Mary Rose and she'll answer you. But anything to do with apostles and police reports, I can help you with that. Jeffrey says, copy, thanks. Michael L. says, Losartan can compensate for the hypertension. Francisco Fletes says, we had to get Hep B shots in the service. Yeah, I remember that. It's been about 10 years, though. Maybe you need a booster. Yeah, you usually need a booster. Maximus says, the USA lawmakers did not have a problem in investing in big pharma and making big money. Yeah, I heard 96 people in Congress and the Senate or something like that switched their stuff over to big pharma. I heard that. It was in some story recently. I think it was out today. Ben Bean says, what's your opinion on Cathie Wood stocks tanking? I got to tell you something about Cathie Wood. You know, people can say what they want about Cathie Wood. I still think she's a genius. And yeah, those stocks are going to tank just like other stocks are going to tank. But, you know, stocks do that. They go like this. They go up and down, up and down. But as they go up and they go down, they keep going up higher and higher. And just like with Tesla, Tesla's been taking a hit on this too. Big tech stocks are taking a hit. I think those stocks are going to be the stocks of the future. People can say what they want, but I mean, let's face it, Tesla is not going away. You know, and neither are any of those stocks that Cathie Wood is invested in. All those are up-and-coming stocks of the future. They're going to be the new Amazons. They're going to be the new fintech. They're going to be the new EV companies of the future. And they're not going to go away. So those stocks are only going to go up over time. So we'll see what happens. I think Cathie Wood is onto something. She's really, really smart. She just come out with a new fund. I still think she's a genius. And I pulled out and put all my money in Tesla, not because I didn't like Kathy Wood or ARK Investments, because I thought Tesla was going to grow more, and it has. Tesla's made me a lot of money, but in the future, I'm going to start dumping more money into ARK again. Now more than ever, where it's down. So that's my thoughts on ARK Investments. Now is the time to throw tons of money into ARK Investments in any stock that's bottomed right now, because it's going to come back. And just like Tesla's on sale right now. So that's a bargain, because they're saying I saw 1,600, 1,400, and 2,500 are its next goals this year. So we're going to be either 14, 16, or 2,400, somewhere around there, or 2,600, somewhere. Those are the amounts that I saw over the past couple of days. So I mean, if we hit that 24 to 2,600 range, that's pretty good. So I think that stock's got a lot going for it in the future, for long term. I can see that stock being, if they don't split, I can see that being a $20,000 stock probably in 10, 15 years. That's pretty decent. But we will have splits probably this year. I can almost guarantee you probably this year. I think by March it'll be at like 12 to 1,400, and they'll call for a split, a 5 to 1 split, maybe a 10 to 1 split, so they don't have to keep on doing the splits. We'll see what happens. Lot going on with that stock. The thing I worry about is the cryptocurrency. Let's see. Francisco says the Hep B shots are good for 6 years. I think they're good for longer than that. And they actually tested me for mine, and they said I do need a booster. So I do have to get the booster sooner or later. Dickie Spaz says tetanus and Hep B boosters every 10 years. There we go. Some of you on your second and third booster in less than a year. That can't be good. Christopher Leroy says, I'll stick what I was told as a kid. Know your drug dealer and never mess with needles. We once was told AIDS was a gay disease. We didn't know about that then. What makes me think we know about COVID now? Yeah, I mean, wow, AIDS and HIV and all that stuff. A lot of crazy stuff in the past 50 years of my life, man. I've watched all these different diseases and stuff, but this is the weirdest one I've ever seen. Even weirder than AIDS. I mean, AIDS was kind of, the way it came out was kind of strange too, but this one here, this one's a nightmare. At the deal that they made out of it, because I don't think it deserved all the media attention that it got. Jeffrey Mueller says, "Hi Steve, finally caught you live. I too am working with Mary Rose. I'm told my SRV app is in batch 15 at Department of Foreign Affairs, so I'm hoping to get there by February. I think you'll be here by February, March at the latest. I don't know what batch they're in now. Somebody said something about 7. I think we're way ahead of 7. Last I heard, I haven't talked to Mary Rose in a while about what batch we're on, but I talk to her quite often. I actually was talking to her on Messenger today a little bit. Michael L. Maximus, Steve is being true to his ethics since he is not a fan of the mRNA vaccines. No, I'm not, man. I'm not. That's one thing I'm not, Michael. I never will be. Nobody can change my beliefs on that. I'm just not a big fan. I got the shots only because I had to. But Jeffrey Mueller, tentatively planning to live with my Cebuana girl in Negros. Francisco Fleta says, thank you to the good senator from West Virginia for not destroying what's left of the dollar and saving us from more inflation. There's a mess going on in the States with spending, and I don't think that's going to stop the spending. They'll just push something else through, or ramrod it through, or do a midnight special or something like that. All these different other ways that they ramrod things through the Senate and Congress and stuff like that. It's kind of scary what they do sometimes. Stay up till midnight and vote when nobody's watching or something, and then you wake up in the morning and you find out that a big disaster was passed through government overnight while you were sleeping. It's usually the way it happens. Dickie Spaz, amen to that, Francisco. Dwayne, for shit, let's go, Brandon. There we go. Maximus, Michael L. I think the U.S. lawmakers investing in Big Pharma is BS because they use their position to use us in COVID protocols and pushing the vaccine to line their pockets. It's kind of does seem that way in some respects. Paulina Porter says VAWR Tech. I'm not sure what that is. I never heard of that company. Dickie Spez says, yep. Michael L says, I like Tesla also. I would have bought Tesla if it was not a 12-week wait when I needed to replace my 2008 Mazda due to teenager crashing into me. There we go. Roger Miller says, Tesla dipped as Musk sold a few large tranches of stock to cover his tax payments due on exercising options. Not a problem. Yeah, he actually bought more stocks with some of that money too. He actually owns more stocks now than he did before because he exercised those options and stuff like that. So he's actually more wealthier now than he ever was. So it's kind of funny how that happened, but he actually made money on that, even though he paid all. He's going to be paying like, I think they said $6 billion in taxes. It's an astronomical amount of money. He has paid more taxes than anybody in the history of the United States, probably the world. That's what he stated the other day. He said that's a fact. Michael L. Maximus, I agree. Politicians should be forced to have their own investment in blind trusts. Yeah, politics are pretty dirty, man, like with this investment stuff. I don't like that at all. They shouldn't even be allowed to invest while they're in there. Texas Frog says, United Airlines flew me from Dallas to Guam. Then they offloaded me saying I could not enter the Philippines even though I was traveling with my Filipino wife and we had been married 8 years. I've heard a few of those stories, man. Yeah, it's really sad. If you have to bring your marriage certificate and everything else. I take it you didn't have your marriage certificate. Because that's what's happening to some people. If you don't have your marriage certificate, you ain't coming into the country. So that's about the way that ends. But I heard from just about everybody they didn't have their marriage certificate. Who walks around with a marriage certificate with them? Not me, I'm not married now, but if I was, I wouldn't be walking around with it. Coin777 says AZT vax for AIDS 1980s brought to you by Fauci. Texas Frog says they should have never allowed me on the plane in Dallas. No, they probably shouldn't have. Probably should have knew that, but what do they know? You know what I mean? All the rules change so fast in each country. You can't stay on top of all that stuff. It's kind of scary. Let's see. Smoky Mountain Model says, this morning the peso is 49.9 to the U.S. dollar, heading the wrong direction. Yes. Dwayne Frechette says, are you moving? No, I'm not moving. I'm staying right where I'm at. If I could move to that house, if they told me I could move to that house I wanted to move to, then yeah, I'd be willing to move back there. But no, I think I'm going to stay where I'm at now. Jeffrey Mueller says, I want to thank you for all the insights and info. I have watched most of your vlogs and learned a lot from. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that, man. I get some good vlogs this week too, but my best ones are my older ones. I mean, I'll admit it myself because I think those are the best ones. I think those are the ones that help people. They have the most tidbits in there. And as you keep on vlogging, you run out of subjects. I mean, I still come up with decent subjects. Every morning I wake up and I write down little notes as I go through the day for ideas and stuff like that for new vlogs. And sometimes I repeat some of the vlogs. But yeah, my older vlogs are actually my best. I have a lot of little tidbits in there. I tell people, don't miss out on the old ones because the old ones are the best. I might not be all fancy and stuff like that, and I'm still not fancy today. We do a bare bones video, but I don't do all the editing and all that stuff because I don't believe in all that. I don't think you need all the editing to have a good channel. I think it's the content and what you cover and how you interact with your subscribers. And we don't do the Patreon. We don't do any of that stuff. We try to help out all the people on here if we can. I try to answer all the questions. I try to help people with their SRVs, and I'll even help people get settled over here, which we're actually doing this week. So I'll be helping Kenny. We might even actually interview Kenny this week, so we can show Kenny on here, and he can talk a little bit about the SRV thing and how he went through it and some of the problems he had. We're also going to still interview Darren. We haven't had a chance to interview Darren yet either, but we are gonna try to do those. So sometime in the future, hopefully we'll have those. Let's see. Tesla is still at 90 times forward earnings, still expensive. I don't think it's expensive, man, when you consider the amount of stuff that they have sitting in their lockers there, for plans for the future and stuff like that. They have a lot of stuff ready to roll. So I think Tesla's actually, I don't think it's selling what it's worth. Sometimes we go off we go off the earnings, and I don't think earnings are all that makes a company when you're talking about Tesla. So I mean, that's my feelings on Tesla. I think Tesla is way undervalued. I think it should be 3 times what it is right now, actually, to be honest with you. I think it's worth more than the 26 that people are saying it should be at this coming year. So we'll see, though. We'll see. Justin French says, was Cavite spared from the typhoon? Yes. Somebody asked that earlier, but I'll go through it again. Okay? So, yes. That says Justin just retracted it, but yes. Texas Frog, they said I had to produce my marriage license I think you talked about this before with me. Who carries a marriage license after being married 8 years? Now I can't come because my wife is in the Philippines and I'm traveling alone. Yeah, no. If you come in with your marriage certificate, I think you can still come in, Texas Frog. From what I read in one of the other articles, they said you can travel separately. Now, I could be wrong on that, but I read that in an article. I did read that in an article for sure, unless that has changed. You can come in here if you have your marriage certificate. They did say that. I'm absolutely sure that that was what was said. Now, that may have changed since I saw that, but look into that again, man, because you're wrong on that, I think. Because I did, but they change everything every day, so it's hard to stay on top of that. But yes, you can come in here separately without your wife. Scott C, do you know anyone who had the C virus? No. Nope. Michael L says AZT is not a vaccine. It is an antiretroviral medication. Okay. Texas Frog called the Philippines embassy 3 times, left messages, emailed 2 times, never had a reply in a month. You want to know something, Texas Frog? It took them about 2 weeks to call me back one time when I was back in the States. And that was about 5 years ago. It took 2 weeks, and I was actually working at the time. And I was working in a school, and I had told my principal I was expecting a phone call. I got the phone call, and my principal was walking around behind me while I'm talking to the embassy, taking a really important phone call. And it was really nasty, and she's telling me to hang up. You're not supposed to be on the phone during work hours and stuff like that. And I turned around and looked at her straight in the eye. I says, look, this is an important phone call. I waited for this phone call for 2 weeks. I'm taking the phone call. And then I says, I told you this morning I was expecting the phone call. And she kept on going at me, and it was horrible. But that's life in the U.S., I guess. That's one reason why I'm glad I'm over here and not working back there anymore. John Fetchko says, got Pfizer booster today, no symptoms yet. It takes about 12 hours, and then you get them. And you'll probably feel muscle pain and pain in the joint of your arm where you got the shot. But I had it in both arms and all throughout my joints. And it was really, really bad. And I was very feverish too a little bit, and sweating and all that stuff. And I had kind of like a neck pain too. Texas Frog says, sorry, just my problems. Glad you are well. Texas Frog, please look into that, because I did read that. I know for a fact that you can come in here because that's what it said. But that could have changed, but I'm sure that's what it said. And that wasn't too long ago. Scott Ben Bean, that's because Toyota is not taking over the EV industry. Toyota's kind of slow on EVs, actually. You know what a car I like is the Prius, man. The Prius was a good car, not the beginning ones, but the later ones, the heavier models. They were a good car, and they like for homeless people, they use them because you can leave it on night and day, and you can it turns on every half hour to AC the car, or to charge the battery to run the AC, and it also has heat in the winter. So if you're homeless or something like that, they say that's a great car for homeless people. I have a couple of friends of mine back home that are homeless, and I've actually told them about getting those cars. One of them I can't contact him. Well, I don't even know where he is. And there's another guy, I think he went into a shelter out in Worcester, Massachusetts. But I left one of them an email one time. Both of them I haven't heard from. I don't know if they're even alive anymore. Jason Molson says, question about the SRV deposit. What kind of receipt do I need? They never replied to my request for a receipt. Well, you will get a receipt when you get your PRA ID card, and they're going to give you this big yellow folder, and your receipt's in there. and it's with the PRA membership thing, and it has all your information there for your receipt too. So don't worry about that. You'll get a receipt in the end. If you don't get it, ask them at the end, but it should be inside that yellow folder that they give you with your fingerprint. They're going to ask you to do both your thumbprints on this document. Look next to that document. Usually next to that document inside that thing, guess what? That's your receipt, and there is a receipt in there because mine has it. Let's see. Scott says, Steve, you should rehash your old videos. I actually do rehash some of my old videos, Scott. I do that, and I actually go back and watch my old videos, and I still tell people to watch those. Some of those ones are still showing, and they do pretty good actually. They don't do bad. They still get quite a viewing. But you're right. I actually go back there sometimes to get information that I gave out to people because I forget sometimes. And yes, you're right. I'm gonna start rehashing some of those older videos. Some of the things like personal stuff. I have a large following of people that they've followed my stuff for so long. They know everything about me, and they get kind of bored with me rehashing some of that stuff. But I like to talk also, a little bit about my life because sometimes you guys are interested in that. Sometimes for whatever reason you guys ask me, and I put that out there too. And I like to share some great stories out there sometimes, especially about being an expat and sometimes part of my life, how it got me over here. Because I mean everybody has a reason why they came here. And for me, I had the dream since I was a little boy, which is kind of funny. And I've told some of you guys this before, that when I was in the 4th grade, I did a report on. They asked us to do a report of 2 countries we'd like to move to when we get older, and one of them was the Philippines. I did, and one of them was it was British Honduras back then, but it was British Honduras I did it on, and both Belize and British Honduras have been a part of my life. That's for a large part of my life. The past 15 years, I've been going to Belize. So, I mean, that'll tell you about not 15 years, maybe 13 years or something like that. It's been a long time. But anyway, and then the Philippines has been a part of my life even longer than that because I had married a Filipina before and was over here twice before. So, I mean, this isn't my first rodeo over here. A lot of people think, oh, this is Steve's first rodeo over here. No, I've been over here before. I was married to a Filipina before. So, I mean, just a lot of people don't know that part about me. It's something that I don't share too often, Let's see. Jeffrey Mueller says, hopefully can meet you in the future and have a beer. Yeah, sure, Jeff. I'd be glad to meet up with you. Usually I tell people to come this way if you want to meet with me. It just makes my life a little bit easier because we get busy here helping people. I can usually only afford to take out like a couple of hours with people because I get really busy. And I'm getting back into that mode again. I take time off this current week. I'm going to be taking time off to help one of the expats. So I got a lot of videos already ready to roll. So you'll be seeing some of the videos where I wear the same shirt for a few days. It's because I did all the research for all those videos and I just cut them all in one day. So, and Justin in Arkansas says, Mary Rose said batch 7 approved 2 days ago was hung up extra month for some. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Batch 8 and later were approved way back. Yes. That's why I was saying when you said batch 7, man, but yeah, I remember they had problems with that. Yeah, I think I don't know what batch they're on now, but I know they're way ahead of that. Let's see. Smoky Mountain Modeler says, nothing wrong with covering older topics again. I like your straight to the point vlogs. Thanks, Smoky. I really appreciate that. And one thing we don't do here is I don't like to sugarcoat anything. I tell people just like it is, and a lot of these other people, like they act like they're trying to, like the Chamber of Commerce or something. They're trying to get people into the Philippines. I want people to come here. Don't get me wrong, but I want them to know the truth. And I don't want people to come over here thinking it's beautiful here, all the time, and everything's going to be fine here. It's not like that all the time, Guys, give me a break for 1 second here. I'm having allergies here again, so just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, guys. Let me see. Let me just put these earbuds in. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Let me get this back up. Okay. Let me get back to where we were, guys. Sorry about that. Let's see. I'll get back into this here. James Curlew says, hello from Colorado Springs. Let's see, 11 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 work days till retirement. That's great, man. I'm really happy for people that are retiring, you know. Brooke Snyder says, buy your Bitcoin before it jumps. I'm not, you know, I know, Brooke, you love Bitcoin. I've been into like the other stuff that that Shiba Inu. I get into that, and I lost some money on that. I'm hoping it goes back up, but I'm not too keen on most of that's the cryptocurrency. You know that. See, Scott says, Texas Frog, can't your wife FedEx you the marriage certificate? As long as you got the marriage certificate, I think he can come in here. Michael L says, if you are married traveling alone, you need to apply for a 9A with EED. Maybe. I'm not sure, Michael, but I know that you can get in here. You can come in alone. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe you need your 9A with the EED. VCG213 says, I heard Tesla's predicted to reach 3,000 per share. Yeah, that's by 2015, though. You know, but they're saying 2,600, maybe 2,400, 2,600 this year. That's what somebody's predicting. So we'll see what happens. Scott says, what's AZT? It was an AIDS drug, okay? Delaware Surf says, speaking of Elon Musk with good ideas, I read that his Starlink internet will be in the Philippines in 2022. Yes, I heard that. It costs $500 to join, but I don't think they're going to pull that off in the Philippines for $500. At $100 a month. I think they're going to have to do something really good for the Filipinos to join that. Let's see. My Filipino wife, let's see. He's got this big long name. Does that include a marriage certificate? States with no report of marriage yet, traveling alone. Not sure, man. Texas Frog says, Scott, I have certificate now. That message is all cut up. That's why I can't read it. Texas Frog says, Scott, I have certificate now, but now I need a 9A visa, and the Philippine consulate does not help me. They should help you if you have that EED, but if you just have the marriage certificate, that ain't gonna do any good for you. You're gonna have to apply for the EED. They'll probably give it to you too, for the 9A, because you're married to a Filipino. You just explain that, and it should get you in. Like that. I think that's what the other guy was saying. I'm almost sure there was like some glitch. There's something you have to go through, some hoops you have to jump through, but you can do it. Trust me. But you're gonna have to get the EED, and it's a pain in the butt to get. Scott says Texas should visit the consulate in person. Yes, I agree. He has to get that EED, and it's very difficult. He's gonna have to go through the Department of Tourism for that or whatever. It's very difficult to get for some people, unless you're going for the SRV. Then they help you get it. Michael L says Scott, AZT is a brand of Zudovudine, one of the first antiretroviral, viral. Finding Kino says, number 35, Texas Frog. Scott, I live in Dallas. I have no way to get to the consulate in Houston. Scott says, Michael, are you saying AZT is good or no good for the virus? Ben Bean, how do you get a 9A visa for married individuals? You have to get an EED. That's what I believe the other guy was trying to say, that Michael's trying to say. I didn't know that. I know that they can get in here, okay, if you're married to a Filipina, okay? So you can get the 9A visa, but you have to apply for the EED. And usually you have to do that with the Department of Tourism. So you have to get the EED approval, and then that takes about 4 to 8 weeks to get, okay? So you have to learn how to do that. You can call the Department of Tourism, whatever, and then it starts that way. That's what we do with the SRV, but we can't help you get that. That's something we don't do. So I mean, Mary Rose doesn't help. She'll help you get the EED for the SRV retirement visa, but not for that. She won't help you with that. Let's see here. Zura says, yes, the old vlogs are good ones. I saw some of them a few times. Yeah, a lot of the old vlogs, we got a lot of good stuff back there, little nuggets and stuff like that. And some of the places we went, they're kind of short clips and stuff like that, but they're cool, Fort Drum and stuff. Some nice little videos back there. That's when I was just coming up. I was kind of nervous on camera and stuff. So I'm a little bit rough, in some of the old videos, but we still got the info that was getting out, and that was the good thing. Photo says there's a U.S. Embassy in Dallas on Stemmons. Texas Frogs, Scott, is there a Philippine outreach in Lantana, Texas, if they are open? Michael L. says, Scott, the IR is effective against, he's talking about the retrovirus, like HIV in combination with, it is useless against coronavirus as COVID and HIV is different as fish and man. See, Texas Frog says, thanks for listening. VGC says, Steve, what happens after your SRV documents are submitted to the PRA? Once they receive those, I'm thinking that you're talking about when you get here and you pass them all the ones that are apostilled, then you just sit and wait. And when they call and tell you when your passport has the visa in it, and you get your PRA card, and you get all your documents and stuff, and you get your receipt, all that stuff comes back to you all at once. They give it all to you. So when you come in to get all that stuff, you get everything, okay? And they'll do your thumbprints, and you become a full member of the PRA, which is kind of neat because they do have a lot of perks. A lot of people don't know that you can go on trips with them. They do trips. They have Christmas parties. They have a newsletter. They have discounts at places. You get discounts even on Phil Health. So there's a lot of discounts, too. But yes, if you're talking about when you submit before you leave the States, where you're submitting them to Mary Rose, she puts in for the EED once she has all those documents that are not apostilled. Okay, now because you submit those and then you submit the apostilled ones when you get here. I hope that answers your questions, VCG. Okay, that's the best way to say it, though. So remember, if you're talking about the unapostilled documents that you're sending by email, that's just to get your EED. Once you get here, you're going to give all the apostilled documents to Mary Rose or whoever the agent may be, and then you're going to wait for all your stuff, and usually it's about 45 to 60 days. Justin in Arkansas, Houston Consulate main email would never respond. I finally found visa section email. They will not do in person there, only visa app by mail. My passport is sitting in Houston for weeks. Brooke Schneider says, are the pools open under COVID? Yes. Some are and some are not. Florida Sun has nice pools, but didn't see anyone using them. Yes, they're actually open at Florida Sun. I was in the pool over there with Darren. So, yes, they are both open, Brooke. You can use the pools over there. No problems. You just call the guard up and you tell them you're going to use the pool. You go over there. They meet you over there. You jump in the pool and you can use it. Stay there as long as you want. Scott says, crypto has no fundamentals with stocks or FX. You have a lot of analysis to work with. Yes, you're right. Yes, crypto kind of goes on its own. Although it does kind of follow stocks, which is weird. Let's see. Darren Cooper says, laughing my ass off, Brooke Schneider. So he's worried about the pool. Let's see. Bel Air 2000, when you send in to be apostilled at the Philippines embassy, your police clearance and medical certificates, does it have to be original documents or can it be certified true copies? I think they want the originals if they can get them. But if you can get certified true copies and get them apostilled, those should be as good. I mean, if you can get them apostilled, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you get them apostilled by the state or whether it's by the State Department. Some states now are doing DD-214s and they're also doing the Social Security pension paper. So if it's apostilled, it's apostilled. Whether it's through the State Department or through your state, because some states will do the apostilled for some of those documents and others will not. So there's no easy one way to get, figure out whether it's can get apostilled through the state or not. The easiest thing is to just call them up and ask them if they'll do it. Most of the states will do it now for some reason. So they're doing federal documents now, which is good. That's a good thing. Scott says, Steve, how can we get the wheels in motion for renting a $100 place in your area? Scott, you contact me at steven5975@yahoo.com And we got some places right down the street that are getting built as we speak again. And they're near two other expats over there. And you can get a place over there for about $80 or $100. Actually, the places that are 100 are going fast because we have already got one already ready to be rented out. And they actually are one bedrooms with a loft. So it has a loft as the bedroom. They're really kind of cute too. But they're not finished yet. So you can, if you rented it, you can probably have a toilet put in there the way you want it, and a lot of other stuff. So just, you can contact me if you're interested in that. We can always keep our eyes out for more. That one, there is another one on the other side. I don't think that's rented out yet, but they go quick, very quick. So, and I might even vlog that. I might even go over there tomorrow and see if I can vlog it. So I'll see if I can get in there tomorrow or this week, and I can show it getting built again like I did with the other ones. Sinful says, good evening for a short time here. Sinfuls, I answered your thing on there, and I think it was about cabinets or something like that. I sent that information off, and they contacted your girlfriend already, I believe. Okay? I think it was about cabinets you wrote to me about. I think that was you. So, let's see. Photo, my bad, it's downtown Dallas. Red Ranger says, there is no U.S. Embassy in Dallas. Photo says, well, it was 5 years ago. Ben Beam, PhilHealth coverage for foreigners has been gutted. Yes, they don't have the Z package. You are correct. PhilHealth is garbage for Americans and for Westerners. It's not even worth getting. Don't even bother. You're better off spending your money for what they charge you, getting Pacific Cross and getting the peso plan, which isn't a great plan, but at least it's a plan if you get sick. Okay? Photo says, okay, then I don't know what government agency expedited my passport in person. Let's see. Red Ranger, we're still thinking Philippines will open up for international tourism by April. Yes, absolutely. Sooner. Edward Kitsons, do you know anything about Santa Rosa Laguna as a retirement area? I don't know that much about that area. I was actually out in that area just the other day, and it's actually a beautiful area. Very nice area. I did see some expats out there. I didn't see many, but I did see some out there. Okay? Smoky Mountain Modeler says, good morning, Sinfuls. Red Ranger photo. That is not the U.S. Embassy. Dickie Spaz says, Texas Frog, check with your local Filipino outreach. I would almost bet in Houston Consulate makes periodic trips to Dallas. Los Angeles Consulate comes up to Phoenix every 6 months for 2 days. Yeah, I mean, they probably do. Michael L. says, OMG, I was under the impression I had to get my documentation apostle before I scanned them to an email to Mary Rose. No, you could have sent those off and they could have started the EED earlier, Michael. So that's what a lot of people do. They just get the papers together, then they get that ready for Mary Rose so she can start the EED, and then, it works that way. And see, Sinful says, my wife, yes, through TKS. Okay. Michael L. says, Pacific Cross or Pacific Prime is good. Yes. Pacific Prime is not an insurance company. They're a brokerage company, and they'll give you the quotes from 10 different companies. It's a totally different company than Pacific Cross. But Pacific Cross is awesome because they have the cheap plans for people that don't have a lot of money and you want to have some coverage. At least you can get a peso plan. And then they have the dollar plans for Americans. And, you don't even have to be wealthy to have those ones for the most part. But as you age, yeah, they do go up in price. And, if you switch plans, then you have to wait another year. And it just gets kind of, bothersome then. Sinful says, at Smokey, hello. Dickie Spaz. With that said, everyone should file the register of marriage abroad and report a birth abroad if you have kids born outside the Philippines. I'm not sure what you're talking about as far as that goes, Dickie. I didn't follow that one. I must have missed something. Scott says, Dickie, did you end up getting the Jabiru? Let's see, what else we got on here? We're at the end of the stream here, at the end of the questions here and stuff. So let's shoot some more comments on here, guys. Here we go. It's Dickie Spaz says, Scott, holding out and hoping the mandates go away. That's what everybody's hoping, that they go away, man. we'll if we don't get much more going on here, we're probably going to end this soon. So slowing down here on questions and stuff like that. But I mean, guys, we got a lot of stuff going on this week. I'll give it a couple minutes and see if we can get this rolling a little bit more, get some more questions on here and stuff. But we got a lot of good stuff coming up this week. I'm going to do that walk around. I want to go on some more trips soon, but with Christmas coming up, it's kind of hard to do any of those trips. But I was talking with Kenny. We were talking about doing some trips. I'm going to do some video of this week, maybe, of me and Kenny doing stuff together. One of the new expats in the area. So it'll be kind of cool. We can actually talk to him and interview him a couple times about what's going on. And it'll be kind of fun seeing a new expat over here, and I'll show you what we're doing with him. Maybe I'll do that this week. I'll think about it this week. We'll see how that goes. It might be something fun to do, you know. So I'll be with him this week once he gets out of quarantine, and maybe we can do some footage of that, okay? Because I want to show some different stuff this week if we can. We got Christmas coming up too, so I mean, I'm going to try to do some different footage than we normally do. We'll do something fun. Let's see. Dickie Spaz says, with that, let's see, wait a second. Smoky Mountain Model says, Steve, will Pacific Cross allow you to get a policy before you arrive to cut down on the waiting period? Yeah, because there is a 1-year waiting period. I believe you could, Smoky Mountain Modeler, and it's a good question. You could ask them that. You can go on their site, Nick. I ask them questions. I believe you could. You can ask Arnelli if you go back. I give her information on there. In one of the videos way back, if you go back there, I still have her information. She contacts me once in a while. As a matter of fact, Smoky Mountain Model, if you send me an email asking me for Arnelli's information, I'll send you her Facebook page, and you can talk to her on there, and you can ask her. Okay, so Steven5975 at yahoo.com. Just ask me for the link for Arnelli, for the agent for Pacific Cross. I'll send you her link. Okay, and you can ask her specifically on there. See, Scott says, Steve, I find it odd. Hardly anybody knows anyone who has ever had the virus. What's up with that? You're talking about the COVID? They think I had COVID at the beginning of last year because I had the flu, and then I got over it, and then I told my doctor about 2 weeks after I had it, and my doctor says, Steve, you didn't have the flu because there's no flu going around. So then she was kind of hinting that I had COVID, but she didn't want to say it because, back then you said the word COVID and immediately you were sitting in a hospital and you weren't going to get out for 14 days. So she kind of stayed quiet about it, but she was a friend. She's, actually a friend of mine too. And, I kind of appreciated that she didn't say anything because I kind of got the hint right off the bat, what she was saying. So let's see. James Curlew, if you are retired military, you may be able to use TRICARE. Yes, you can. There are hospitals that accept TRICARE here. There is a few of them, at least 3 that I know of. I'm not really up on TRICARE, so I really couldn't give you too much information other than I know that they do accept it at certain hospitals. And they will accept FMP at certain hospitals too, by the way. Certain hospitals, if you go to, they'll bill FMP for you. Okay, but I'm not up on all that FMP stuff that much. Okay. Scott says, Dickie, way to go. Photo. What do they look at in your background check? They do a full background check. If you're over 70, don't worry about it. Unless you're going to get the EED, then they'll do it. But if you're going to wait till all this COVID stuff goes away, don't worry about it. Over 70, no police report. Okay. Scott, I'm in the same boat, Dickie, he says. Michael L., you make a good case for Tracy Martinez, even though Baguio and Tagaytay has cooler weather. Michael, our weather, we get good, sweet breezes through here, let me tell you. In Tracy Martinez, I got sweet breezes blowing up this hill during the day, and sometimes it gets cool. And at night, we're in the low 70s, okay? On this hill here, we're 423 feet up in the air. It's not really that hot here, and I think Darren Cooper over in General Trias will tell you where he is in Florida Estates. There's a cool breeze blowing across that place where he is all day long. Because I was over there. It's not hot out there. I mean, I'm sure you get your hot days over there too, but there's always a breeze at least blowing over there. So that's one thing I can say about General Trias. If you're in the Florida Sun area, There's a breeze blowing there constant. So, but yeah, Tracy Martirez is the #1 up and coming city in the Philippines. Somebody just told me the other day. The guy down the street here that owns the gym was telling me he read that the other day. Tracy Martirez is the fastest growing city in the Philippines because people are moving here because they're starting to realize that it's a good place to live, #1, and it's reasonable. It's very reasonable, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are coming here because there's a lot of land in Tracy Martirez still to build on. So I mean that says a lot right there, and it's not an overly crowded city either. It's pretty decent. It's clean. Chicago. Let's see. May says Chicago consulate did an outreach last weekend in Indianapolis. I got my kids' Philippine passports, easy peasy. Let's see. This guy here, my Filipino wife, she wants to do YouTube. He says something, and it cuts off. I don't know what's going on with his internet, but it says, my question, whenever he writes something, it's always cut off. My question is, can I get into the Philippines married to a Filipina? Marriage was performed in the U.S. I'm making up some of this because I can't see the cut off portion. She is in Manila. You should be able to, but you might have to. I would check with the Philippine consulate on how to go about that because I'm not up on that type of stuff, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not. I'm more up on the retirement visa. You ask me anything you want about retirement visas, I can answer. But on the marriage visas, I'm not really up on that other than what I told you, what I read. Like you can travel separately, but there's ways that you have to go about it. Brooke Snyder says, will we bring the girlfriends on our trips? Yes, we can. We can if we want to, or we can go just guys alone. I think sometimes, Brooke, we might go with just the guys alone because it's a lot more fun that way sometimes. Just be guys on the trip, and it's more fun sometimes that way. We can do a little bit of both probably, but yes, definitely. We can have meetings over my house, Darren's house, other places. Whoever wants to, have the barbecue up and running, we can have it at their house because we can take turns doing that or whatever. There's all types of ways we can do things, But yes, we're getting people in here fast, Brooke. We got a guy from Canada coming in. I mean, not Canada. Actually, yeah, no. Yeah, you from Canada, another guy from Canada, and we have another guy from Alaska. Okay, so he's coming in here too. Because another guy from Canada just talked to me just recently. He wants to come here too. I'm not sure of his name though. Red Ranger says, have you stayed at the Conrad Hotel? It's a pretty nice place. No, but I go to that place often. The Conrad building. I've never stayed in the hotel. I heard it's really beautiful there. But if you go into the Conrad building, they have the best food in the world there, man. They have good, like Texas Roadhouse and stuff like that. They had Red Lobster, but they got rid of Red Lobster. Dickie Spaz says, you should file both of those documents I spoke about. When I traveled to the Philippines, all I have ever shown is a copy of the report of marriage and no questions asked. That's interesting. But things have changed, though, because of COVID, so everything's different. Let's see. Photo says, because my mind and my foot didn't always agree on speed limits. Let's see. VCG. Stephen, I am in the U.S. I sent my SRV documents to Mary Rose, which she has submitted. Once the EED is approved, what happens next? That's when you apply for your 9A with the EED document, okay? And you apply for that, and then once you get the 9A, you're ready to roll. You're ready to come in. You'd have to send all that stuff together, the EED, or they have it sometimes at the place, at the embassy when you apply. They should have a copy of that already. Sometimes they don't, but you can send them a copy. You can send them the link or whatever, a picture of the email or whatever. And that's all you need. And then usually it gets approved. The 9A gets approved, and then you can come in and you're all set to roll. And then what happens then is once you get to the Philippines, you go to quarantine. While you're in quarantine, Mary Rose picks up the documents that are all apostilled and all this package of your pictures and everything that she told you to bring, that's on that list. She picks all that up, brings it over to the PRA, starts your process, and usually when you get out, sometimes you need to do a health, your health check, and sometimes you don't, because if you did it in the States and you got it apostilled, sometimes they ask for you to do it again. Sometimes they say no. So, I mean, I've seen it go both ways. So, but usually right after you get out, you can just leave. You know, if Mary Rose says she doesn't need anything else from you, you're golden, man. You're ready to roll. You know, you can probably come back in about 45 days and pick up all your paperwork and your passport and your ID card, and you're ready to live here. You're all set from then on. It's easy. It's not. It's a nice thing too. So, Smoky Mountain Modeler says, I was thinking about starting in April to apply for a policy. Talk to her. Talk to Arnelli, Smoky Mountain, and if you need that information, like I said, Steven5975 at yahoo.com. You know, just tell me you want her information. So you can talk to her on Messenger. You know, and you can ask her all the questions you want on Messenger. You can even call her on there. But she always has a bad connection when I talk to her. The internet wherever she is terrible. So you better off talking to her on Messenger, you know, like in chat, versus calling her on Messenger. Man, her internet's terrible. But she's a nice lady to work with. You know, she'll answer all your questions. We have another guy on here too, by the way, and he might be on here tonight watching, and he sells insurance too, just like Arnelli, and he sells Pacific Cross. He comes on here every once in a while. Matter of fact, he was on here 2 weeks ago. I think he was on here 2 weeks ago. I forget the guy's name. If I can get his information sometimes, I'll pass it on to you. Okay, Dickie Spaz says, I hear you, Scott. People are finally pushing back. Let's see. Michael L. says, I know lots of people who had COVID. Some died. I don't know anybody that had COVID and died. I've heard of people that have. I haven't seen anybody, or no, I don't have any friends, you know, or anything. I mean, in my case, that they said that I might have had COVID, you know, even that wasn't proven. So I don't know what to say about COVID. You know, I just know that most of the people in the nursing homes die from flu and now COVID. You know, the average age of death for COVID was 83. So it tells you a lot right there. You know, the same thing with the flu. The average age of people dying from the flu is in their 80s. So Scott says, Michael, those who died were 85 years old. I mean, he's right. Actually, it was 83 was the average age, but he's trying to make a point. Photo, does anyone else ever get the regular flu anymore, or did vaccine cure that? No, I get the flu shot. I got flu shot in one arm and my pneumonia shot in the other arm just recently. So yes. Yep. I have to get pneumonia shots every 5 years. Michael L. says, that Scott, one was 30. Martin Harvey, England has reciprocal pension with PH, but the PRA website does not mention UK, GB, or British Isles as an approved country because of COVID. We can't fly in, but we do qualify for SRRV, Steve. Yes, you do. I'm not sure if you can come in here on the EED. You can fly to another country, stay there 14 days, and still get in here, man. You know, that's a fact, because we've had people do that. You know, Roger Lee says, "What's up, Steve?" Roger, fellow vet based in Tampa, but living in Mexico. First time catching your stream. Thanks, Roger. Thanks for joining us. You know, good to see new subscribers on here. Scott says, Michael, did we have underlying conditions? Red Ranger says, marriage visa entry. Tell them to contact Bureau of Immigration on Facebook and send them a message. They are very quick to respond with correct answers. Interesting. Let's see. Michael L. says, Scott, yes, he was an ethanol addict. However, others who were 40 to 60 have none of that I've known of. This was before the vaccines were available. Michael L. says, I have stayed at the Conrad, and it is awesome. Yes, Conrad is a nice building. It's probably one of the most beautiful buildings around the Mall of Asia. Somebody told me that they're building a ship in there. I've never seen that ship, but I heard that they were building a ship in there. Let's see. Let me see how my thing just popped. My whole stream of people just popped up. So, okay, here we go. Dickie Spaz says, Scott, had an outbreak at work, and I caught it, as did about 20 others. It put one guy down for about 3 months. The rest of us self-quarantine. It was before the jabs were available. Michael L. says, thanks. MX for Hilton points. There we go. James Jensen says, Omicron, I think, will delay opening. I don't think it will. It was good you got the booster, Steve, as this is the only thing that has been shown to give some reliable level of protection. I read that today. I still am kind of ambivalent about the way I feel about that. Like, I'm not sure I feel good about that or not. My feelings are kind of mixed feelings about that. Let's just put it that way. Red Ranger says, I just got the new credit card and it's offers deals at Conrad Hotel. I am from Texas, so I dig Texas Roadhouse and TGIF. TGIF is here too, and other American restaurants while in Philippines. I have never been to Conrad. Conrad's kind of a cool place. They have really upscale restaurants there. They have the Hard Rock Cafe there in Manila. And if you want to stay at a cheaper hotel, there's a cheaper hotel across the street, I think it's the Wyndham Estates or something like that. It's a nice hotel. It's across the street. It's very, very cheap, and still nice. Scott says, my stepdad had the regular flu in 2017, was bedridden for 3 weeks. If he had gotten the flu today, it would be called the coronavirus. Probably, yeah. I agree with that. Everything. Man, when I went in with kidney stones, they were telling me I had COVID. I almost wanted to slap the doctor. It was ridiculous what they were doing to me. Roger Lee says, lost internet for a sec. Working with Mary Rose for my SRIV in March and April. It may touch base with you as I get closer. Just watch your fully vaccinated video. Great topic. Yeah, I put that out today about you don't need the booster to be considered fully vaccinated to get on a plane. In other words, a year out from your vaccination and you don't have a booster, you're still considered fully vaccinated as far as getting on that plane until that changes. So that's just a truism as far as what the VA sent me today. The VA sent, it was last week, they sent that to me. When I read that, I was like, man, I just got the booster yesterday and they sent this to me today and I didn't even need the booster. But, oh well, Dickie Spaz says, good stream once again, Steve. As always, lots of good info from you and other members. Yeah, we get a lot of good information on here from everybody. And let me tell you something. I have a great video coming out. I want to let you guys know. I forgot to tell you guys about this tonight. There is a credit union specifically for expats with foreign addresses, okay? And I'm going to put that information out there soon. I just want to let you guys know about that, okay? We're going to have some great information coming out this week. I just want to finish reading the thing, and I'm going to put the information out this week and the links to it so that you guys can use it, okay? But I'm going to put that out there. Let's see here. The thing keeps popping up every once in a while. Okay, here we go. John Miller. Hi, Steve. When I fly to Manila, I'm going to stay there for 10 days before going to Cebu to live. After my 5 days in quarantine, can I sightsee in Manila for the remaining five days prior to going to Cebu? You could. I think I think you have to self-quarantine though after that though. I think you do. Wherever you travel to, I think you're supposed to self-quarantine for another few days. We have a guy here now, Kenny, and Kenny was telling me he has to self-quarantine. But when Darren came in, he didn't have to self-quarantine. So I don't know if that's true or not, because I'm hearing mixed results on that. One person gets told yes, the other person gets told no. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll just say that. I don't know. Because they change things day to day. Here in the Philippines, everything changes. So I'm of the feeling right now that they're probably not going to self-quarantine the guy when he gets out on Tuesday. I think he's going to be okay. But we'll see. We'll see. Walleye says, wait a second. James Jen says, Omicron 70 times more transmissible. But yeah, it's nothing more than a cold practically. Walleye says, I am so happy my fiance from Pasay City just passed her embassy interview for her K1 visa. Congratulations, man. That's good news. Smoky Mountain Model says, I think the other insurance agent's name is Michael Onsteed. Yes, I think you're right. Yeah. You can either go through him or Arnelli. Michael seems pretty knowledgeable too. Either one of them are great. I love Arnelli though. I gotta tell you, but Michael seems to be like on top of his game, and Arnelli's great too, but she's studying to be a nurse and stuff, but she does that part time. But you can still contact Aunt Ellie, and Aunt Ellie will answer all your questions too. Let's see. James Jensen, not dupe, Scott, he says. Craig Jordan at the Philippine Info Channel and everyone, hello. Latest rollback to standard time makes it difficult for me to join the stream on time. Sorry about that, Craig. We're going to be doing Zoom soon. We're looking into that. We're thinking about it anyway. I haven't quite looked up all the information on it yet. This week's been a busy week, so I haven't had really time to look into it. But I'm going to look into it more and see if we can do that, so we can have people on there and we can see your faces and we can all talk and chit chat and be just like having a regular meeting and be kind of more fun. And even if we don't, like now we can have 95 people on here and we can shoot questions and talk and things like that, but I have to read everything. If we do the Zoom, I think it'd be a lot more fun. But I think people will come and go through the night maybe. As one signs off, another one can jump on. I'm not sure how many people you can have on there, but I'm going to look into it more. I'm still looking into that. Scott says, James, you need to ask questions and not believe CNN. There we go. Let's see. James Jensen, seeing this in real time in New York City. There we go. Michael L. says, I just read a paper from the Imperial College of London that the boosts immunity against Omicron variant. I did hear that too. Robert Bloom says, anybody here of natural immunity? I'm not sure. James Jensen, boosters have been shown to be effective against Omicron. Yes. Scott, James, OMG, I have a bridge to sell to you. Okay. Let's see. Michael L. says, the IATF just added self-quarantine on December 15th. Yeah, that's going to suck then for Kenny when he gets out, because Kenny's got to do self-quarantine, it looks like, then, if that's what they added. I wasn't sure if that had been added or not. I heard rumors it was, but he was telling me it was. And I says, I don't think so, but he had told me yes. So I guess he's correct. Craig Jordan, James Jensen, my source at the CDC confirms that statement. Let's see, Dwayne Frechette, just because a virus is highly transmissible doesn't mean it's more dangerous. Steve's right. It's no harsher than the common cold. Common cold can be very, hit everybody, but it's not dangerous. I agree with Dwayne on that 100%. Scott, Craig Jordan, give me $10 million. I'll pay scientists to prove anything that will sell my product. And you know something? If you give a scientist money, and he's very true what Scott's saying right here. If you give a scientist, they'll prove any theory wrong. Because they got money to throw at it, and they'll try to prove it wrong, even if it's the wrong info, even if it's a lie. Brian Adamson says, Zoom sounds good. Yes, it does. I'm kind of interested in finding out more about that, but we wouldn't do it on tonight. We wouldn't do it tonight. We would do it on a different night, and we'd probably do it for maybe an hour or two. Okay? But I am going to look into it. Okay? James Jensen says, not sure where you live, Scoot, but think you may have to be a dentist. Look at UK, USA, stats hospitals in New York City, seeing spike in ER visits. Dickie Spaz says, I wouldn't take the jab unless I am forced to. Omicron being spread by those who've already been jabbed. The false BS about the unjabbed spreading the virus is just BS. Yeah, a person that has been vaccinated can carry that virus around just as much as a person, a person that's been vaccinated can carry it around just as much as if you've been unvaccinated. It doesn't matter whether you're vaccinated or not. You can still spread the Omicron variant. If it's on your hands or if it's on your person or something like that, it doesn't matter. So, a lot of people are under this false assumption that because you got the jab, that you can't spread it. Yes, you can, and you can spread it just as much as anyone else. If you hug somebody that has it or something, you go up and hug somebody else, you can spread it to the next person. So it doesn't really matter. So that's like if you're here in the Philippines and you don't have your vaccination card, they make you sit outside. I don't think that's fair to the person that's unvaccinated, that they have to sit outside because they weren't vaccinated. I think that's very unfair. In New York City, they're doing that too. Red Ranger says, no need for worry about COVID. We have Sleepy Joe in the office taking. Oh, he's awesome. He takes care of everything. Man, who would have ever thought that we would have an Alzheimer's patient in the White House? Seriously. I mean, that guy, I saw him the other day talking. It's like, it's scary. See, Joe Davis says, if married, I thought EED was not necessary, just affidavit of support. You know, that's one of the other people had said on here. I'm not that up, like I said, on the marriage visa stuff there and all that. All I know is that they said that you come in separately. Okay, so I think the person was saying you need the EED to come in separately. Okay, so but don't quote me on that. I'm just telling you what the other person said. So I'm not that up on that. I really don't know that much about that. I know the EEDs we use that to get SRV holders in here, and I know they're using it for other things too. So this is probably true what he's saying, that they're using the EED to get people in here that are coming in without their wives or whatever. So see, Photo says, what's the rush to get in the Philippines? I don't think they'll run out of women. Ha ha. No, they won't. They won't. ANG Hubbies. He says, hi, Steve. A bit off topic, but I thought you and your viewers might like to know that wearing the wraparound style sunglasses while on the PH are better for slowing the rate at which cataracts develop. I like that. That's good. That was a little bit off topic. Yeah, okay. Scott, James Jensen, spiking hospitalizations is proof that the vaccine does not work. See, Brian Adams says jabs are meant to keep you out of hospital, but they don't stop you from catching and spreading it. So you got 90 people, 63 thumbs up. I want to get back on that subject though about the credit union here before I go off tonight, because we're getting close to the end of the show. Is this credit union that this guy told me about? He says that it's specifically for expats, and because it's a credit union, it doesn't have to function like a bank. Okay, now I'm a member of a credit union already, and let me tell you something. I'm very glad that I have a credit union versus a bank account in the States, and they work with me really, really well. But this credit union here, I'm going to put out the information this week with the name of the place and everything. And let me tell you something. I've read up on it a little bit. I'm going to be doing more research, and if the research all pans out correct, I'm going to do the video this week. So be looking for that video. And make sure you guys watch that and pass it on to other expats, please, if you can, because it's something that's for all expats in all countries. If you have a foreign address, you can open an account with this credit union. Okay, you don't need an American address. That was what really caught my attention. And when the person sent me this today, I was like, man, that's very, very interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna get that information out there this week. It's a very different type of credit union. So I'm going to be studying it more this week, and I'll put out all that information this week. We'll get back to this here. Let's see. Scott says, James Jensen, countries that are near 100% vaxxed are back under heightened restriction. Isn't the vaccine supposed to cure this? There we go. Walleye says, I don't try to convince anyone to get the vaccine. I got the vaccine because of my health. My coworker didn't. She is in the hospital on life support. My best friend just buried his mom on Thursday. Scott says, Brian Adamson, that's more fake reports. If it were true, hospitalizations would be down, not up. Darren Cooper, who's on here now, I believe, sent me a story, and it was at first I thought it was kind of a joke, but he was telling me that smokers don't get COVID. And most smokers don't get COVID because there's so much tar on their lungs that it blocks the COVID. So they're not getting COVID. And I thought that it was an interesting fact. And he sent me this article to back it up, because he's a smoker. And he was saying that he probably would never get COVID or something like that, or joking with me. And when he sent me that article, I was like, that's really interesting, because he backed up what he said. It was kind of cool, you know. But who would have thought that? I would think that smokers would be more likely to get the COVID, but no, it's quite the opposite. Dickie Spaz says, as of 12/13, I'm not telling people to smoke, by the way. Dickie Spaz says, as of 12/13/21, there was only one confirmed death from the Omicron variant in the USA. Thousands die daily every year from the normal flu. Yes, you're right. That's why I think this is a bunch of baloney. Omicron is a joke. Countries should be open right now. Right now. As we speak, they should be open, and they're not. You know, it's a joke. Michael L says, photo. Some have existing relationship and want to see their women. Scott says, Dickie Spaz died of Omicron or Omicron? Okay, Omicron or Omicron. Okay. Either way, you can spell, what is it? What they say? I forget it. I forgot the way the joke goes. It was a joke that goes along with the Omicron, but let's see. Moronic. You can spell moronic with Omicron. So, Dickie Spaz says, spot on, Scott. James Jensen, scoot Omicron, circumvent spike protein. The vaccines address booster, help strengthen T-cell immunity, which can blunt the Omicron. I don't really care if I get it or not. If it's just like a cold, it's not a big deal. Dickie Spaz says, Scott, not enough info to give you that answer. Brian Adams says, I look forward to your credit union vlog. We're going to be doing that soon, man. Atomic Vagrant says, is solar power a thing there? Yes. They actually have, there's a place not too far away from here. They sell solar panels. How common are solar panels on regular folks' homes? I got one right outside the door for a night light out here. It's actually a big light. It's like a street light. So, yeah, but you can get them. You can get them here. They're a thing. James Jensen says the Philippine opening will be impacted by Omicron to ensure healthcare system is not overwhelmed. If it's like a cold, though, it's not going to get overwhelmed. So I don't think that's a good case. Scott says, Dickie Spaz, yes, by design. If he died with COVID, they will bury it. Photo says, sorry, I meant no disrespect for relationships. Popeye says, are you close to volcano that may explode? If so, are you downwind from where the smoke would flow, or is your area away to the side where the air quality... the smoke from Taal goes north, blows north, not south. But we do get a little bit of dusting here, and it's not. It's one of the smaller volcanoes in the world, so it's not a really that big of a deal. It's in the middle of a lake too, so that takes away a lot of the problems with that Taal volcano. We're going to be going off here, guys. We're almost up to 100 minutes tonight. I want to thank you guys. I'm going to read a couple more on here. I want to read this Tom's one on here about Kathy Wood. But I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. And we always have fun on here every Saturday night. And I'm going to look into that Zoom more. But let me get into a couple more of these, and then we'll call it a night. Tom says, say, Steve, have you lost faith in Kathy Wood after her 2021 results? Absolutely not. If so, I'm more on board with her, because you know what? Tesla took a hit. Tesla's going to go up. I don't care what they say. Tesla will go back up. All those other tech stocks are just going to be just as big as Amazon or whatever. These stocks are growing companies, and she has an eye for stuff like that, and most of those companies are growing. And they're going to go through rough times until they become big, like Tesla. Tesla's a big company now. Whoever would have thought that Tesla would be right up there with Amazon and Facebook and all those companies, and now he's the richest man in the world. Who would have thought that 5 or 10 years ago? I would have never thought that, but look at him now. And that company is going to be bigger. It's going to be bigger. That company is going to grow like Amazon and like Facebook and like all those other companies out there, like eBay and all those, So, I mean, look at it that way. The companies she picks all have a lot of growth to go. And in 5 or 10 years, I can see those stocks really, really, really going up in a big way. So don't lose faith in that, because I'm going to start investing more in ARK. And I got out of some of the ARK simply because I wanted to get into Tesla more, because I thought Tesla would do really, really good. And it has. Tesla has made me a lot of money, even where it is today. It's made me a lot of money. But yes, ARK is going to go up. Be sure of that. You can count on that. I would bet on that. Okay? Give it 5-10 years, you will definitely be up. Okay? Don't worry about that. There's no guarantees in life, but I can tell you right now, I have a good feeling about it. Martin Harvey says, if you intend to travel indefinitely, so no address in any country, can you open a bank account in the Philippines? If you travel and no address? No, you have to have an address. Okay, and usually in the Philippines, if you open an account, it has to be an address in the Philippines. Okay, but with this new credit union, I don't know. They may have some way, even if you travel constantly, you don't have an address, maybe they have a way you can open up an account there. Maybe they do. you know, you could certainly call and ask them. I think you need some sort of address anyway. I would think. Let's see, Craig Jordan says the Philippine Info Channel, there is no money to be made keeping the Philippines closed. You are correct. Let's see. Michael L says something about cromolyn, a sodium inhaler usually used for mild asthma, will help protect your lungs against COVID. Let's see. Next virus, kryptonite. There we go. But I'm going to end this here, guys. I know we got a lot more people on here that left some messages on here. And I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to answer those tonight because we're hitting about 100 minutes here, guys. Usually I answer everybody if I can. I go right to the end. But we have a lot of people. We have a really good group on here tonight. And come back on here next week, guys, because I want to do this every week. I'm not going to give up on this Saturday night thing. If ever I'm not on here, just remember I'm probably sick or I went away for the day and didn't get back in time, okay? And usually I'll do it the week after. So if I ever miss you on here like I did last week was because I was sick from the booster shot. But, you know, if I'm ever not on here, if it's a holiday night, I will not be on here. Like if it's Christmas or if it's New Year's Eve or something like that, obviously I'm not going to be on here, guys. But anyway, God bless, guys. Take care, and be sure to be on here next week at 10 p.m. on Saturday night Manila time. Okay, guys? God bless. Take care. Thank you, guys.